What's going on, guys? Kevin Burnett here from Kenyan Sports Nation, and here is...
I'm Tom Deloach, and we are top senior analysts here at the Kenyan Sports Nation Network. And today we want to tell you a little bit about the amazing sport of soccer.
Although it is that time of year where tens of millions of fans across the globe are watching their respective nations compete in the World Cup, the importance of the game to other countries cannot go unnoticed, such as our lovely nation of Kenya. The Kenyan national team has not even been a participant in the World Cup since it joined the qualifiers in 1974, but this is not a reflection of the influential role soccer plays in the country, both past and present.
That's right, Kevin. Soccer was introduced to the African world in the colonial period by Britain as a way for settlers to teach natives about British culture and values, but has become a cultural statement of its own. Before discussing cultural impacts, the way soccer is set up must first be understood.
On to the next.
The first aspect that comes to mind when football is discussed in the country is the Kenya Premier League, which draws 16 clubs each year to highlight the best talents across the nation. The national team also comes to mind, such as when Kenya participated in the Gossage Cup, an event that pitted 3 East African nations in the 1940s and 1950s. Some of the clubs that are still quite popular today were founded in the 1960s. Joe Kadinge, James Sianga, Peter Uma, Nicodemus Arudi, Chris Abure, and Fred Saranga are among the notable athletes from that time period. Kenya participated in the African National Cup of Nations for the first time in Cameroon in 1972, and they were unfortunate not to advance to the semifinals.
Kenya became the first nation to ever win the East and Central Africa Talents Cup. While these professionals are fascinating, the youth is what really makes football what it is for the country. Schools across the nation compete regionally with blood, sweat, and tears to fight for the national championship. Further, it is impossible to walk around towns and not see children of all ages beginning to learn the love for the game. Poverty does not hold these kids back, as they will use a bundle of taped rags as the ball and use cardboard or other resources for the goalpost. The resilience shows the culture of Kenya and how they always overcome obstacles.
Thank you, Park, for telling us some of the historical aspects of Kenyan soccer. Now we're going to dive into what the beautiful game has done for our country's youth.
A special man named Bob Monroe created the Mathare Youth Sports Association, a small soccer league in Nairobi, the country's capital. Beyond simply playing soccer, the league requires all participants to engage in community service acts, such as garbage cleanups, which helps make these young men a better person. 30 years ago, the organization had 21 teams, and now there are 1,800 teams with hundreds of thousands of Kenyans now through the league. Employers are hired from these towns of poverty so they can relate to the kids and have the passion to give back to the team. These workers get paid well, as many have talked about how they can move their families to cleaner and more sanitary homes. Former players have also gone professionally with Kenya or to European clubs, and others take their passion to the game and put it into business or art schools.
Another similar organization is the nonprofit Vijana Amani Pomoha, which aims to combat the drug abuse, unemployment, and HIV and AIDS, which are all damaging Kenyan youth. The group's mission is to utilize interests such as soccer to teach educational opportunities on chasing a brighter future through healthier lifestyles. For girls, they would host soccer clinics along with preaching to girls about maintaining sexual health and their reproductive rights. Their main program is Skills Kenya, which focuses on kids using soccer skills to learn about HIV and AIDS prevention while having fun. Another is the annual tournament Kick and Test, which is a soccer tournament held that also gives free testing for HIV and tuberculosis to these young athletes.
Whether you're enjoying the game yourself or cheering on from the sidelines, the game can bring dozens of opportunities to conquer boundaries in the country of Kenya. Organizations like the Mathare Youth Sports Organization or Vijana Amani Pomoha deserve more recognition for their great efforts.
This relationship must be continued and be built upon in making greater future citizens of Kenya. Next time you are watching games such as the World Cup on your television, think about what the game means beyond the field and how it can better your community. Join us next week when we talk about Kenyan bullfighting.